Hey guys, welcome back to the Black Filipino TV. Now today, I want to get into this because this video is going to be titled, "The Philippines Isn't What You Think. It's Better and Worse." And I want to get into that. Now, you guys know I've been here for quite a while. I've been here to see the good, the bad, the beautiful, the wild, and it's straight up confusing. I'm definitely not going to sugarcoat it. And I just have to let you guys know, this is no travel agency ad. I'm just telling you how it is and what it's really like when you're living in the Philippines. It's better than you think, and at the same time, it's worse than you expect. But once you understand why, you move different. So let's get into it. First off, let me give props where props are due. The natural beauty out here, crazy. I'm talking waterfalls, looking like movie sets, beaches with water so blue, it looks Photoshopped. You know, volcanoes, island towns that feel like you went back in time. You walk outside and sometimes you gotta pause. Like, yo, is this Earth? That's what the Philippines has. And the people, chill, friendly. Most Filipinos, they have this warmth they have with them. Not just fake customer service smells. Like real come sit down and eat with us type of hospitality.
This is amazing. Thank you.
You are most welcome here.
The food smells incredible.
They offer you a plate, even if they barely got enough for themselves. That's something I didn't expect, and that's a real sense of community. You're not just another foreigner here until you are. Now, the flip side of that smile. Don't get it twisted. Just because folks are friendly does not mean they don't peep you for what you got. Now you walk around with a fresh fade, chain on, maybe just holding your iPhone, people watching, people admiring, some plotting, some smiling at you with a whole different intent. And I ain't saying don't trust nobody, but keep your guard up. A lot of foreigners, they get caught slipping out here because they mistake kindness for loyalty. Big mistake. Now that Filipino who called you babe after one date, the track driver with the special price, that cool local who always knows where to party at, you better know who's who. Now respect is real here, but once you start acting like the man, tossing cash, showing off, you become a walking target. Now, broke here is not like broke back home. Right, I gotta tell you this. This is lesson number 2. Now, let me say this straight. If you come to the Philippines broke, it's still better than being broke in the U.S. Now, you can live on way less. I'm talking 600 to 900 a month in some cities and also in some cases, right? But here's the catch. The cost of living, it can be low, but the cost of impressing people, that gets expensive fast. It happens to plenty of guys. Don't come here and get caught up in impressing. Because you get caught up with impressing, it can happen easily because you're the foreigner and you feel like that. You start to develop this God complex. Do not do it. Do not start feeling like Captain Save 'em, right? And everybody starts throwing their problems at you and you start solving all of it. That happens because it happens to many foreigners. They get caught up and before they know it, the milk bone dry. And it can happen without someone even milking you bone dry. They're just asking to see if you're going to be Mr. Nice Guy. Watch out for that. Because they'll ask and you'll say, no problem. They'll ask, oh, can I have 10,000? No problem. 10,000 pesos, $200. You may not see it as a big deal. Or they'll ask, oh, can I have 5,000? But then they'll keep asking. And it gets bigger and bigger and out of control. And what happens, sometimes you build a monster, right? What do I mean? Say you give that person, you start out with 5,000 to 10,000. Before you know it, they're asking you for big money. If you don't give it, and this happened to so many foreigners, you'll end up somewhere buried. And that's something you don't want. Because you can create a monster by giving and also by being too nice. And it can be the most kind person out here. That's the worst part, right? Don't do that. You can actually make that person a monster. but being nice. They don't know that they have it in them. Like, for instance, you remember the girl, right? Look at that girl that had a foreigner, right? He came over here, gave it a world. What happened? This happened like a couple of years ago. She ended up killing him. Why did she do it? Because she was entitled, right? She started out a good person, most likely. Most Filipinos do. Most Filipinos do. But if someone is in need, it starts with need, then it turns into greed. Remember that. Learn that lesson. Need turns into greed. And that's not what you need. Because people got to eat. And it goes from people need to feed to greed. And need to greed. Don't create monsters. I don't know. The woman, they're feminine, respectful, naturally beautiful, and often more traditional than back home. But don't think for a second that means they're all innocent and naive. Now, some of these girls got game, next level game. Now, they know what a lonely foreigner looks like. You have to remember that. They know how to play that damsel in distress. You thinking it's love. She's thinking about remittances. But here's the trick. The good ones, they're out here too, and they move different. They ain't chasing you. They ain't asking for money. They're working. They're loyal. They're subtle. Like, I had a guy, right? He recently said a Filipina asked him for money. He said no. She didn't ask again. Now, I say this because I know he may be watching this video. If she asks again, I told him that too. I was having a consultation with him, and my wife spoke to him too. But I told my wife, because my wife don't play, right? She's not about that. She doesn't like when Filipinos ask for money. So she's not about that. She'll tell that guy real quick, cut her off, right? So I told him no. I said, look, it's okay right now. If she asks once and asks for months, but if she asks again, run. And you got to be like that. Because if she does, and what you're trying to do right now with the meeting we were having, it's not going to be good, right? So any guy, it happens. Because this is what happens with Filipinos. They may ask once because they really need it, right? They may be really in need. But if they don't ask again, don't just cut them off right away. We got to have hearts now. Some woman will ask to see what you're going to put up with. Just say no. She asks again, that's when you run. Now, you got to understand, if you want to win, slow down. Watch how she treats you when you say no. That's when you find out who's real. Now, healthcare, safety, and real work stuff. If you get sick here, of course you got to have a plan. I've said this a million times. It's not like back home. It's cheaper, but quality varies. But you can find some good hospitals here, and that's what I like about the Philippines. And it's still not like back home, right? You can get some decent care, still at a reasonable price. So it's kind of like, if you don't have insurance, you still will be okay. But you got to have money. If you don't have money and you don't have insurance, you're facing a nightmare. Because they will not let you leave the hospital in the Philippines. But now you have to think, crime, it exists. Petty theft, scams, setups, especially if you're flashy, careless, or rolling with strangers at 2 a.m. This happens to so many foreigners, right? Why? Because foreigners come here and get drunk. And what happened is they're with other foreigners that have been here longer, that know Filipinos, that understand the area, that understand the nightlife, that understand those certain crowds, right? So that can help you. So you definitely don't want to get in that bad foreigner side. Being a newbie out here, that's one thing you want to be careful of. One of the things you need to watch out for. Being the newbie guy and mixing with the expat foreigner who's a pro, who's been here for a while. That's like, for instance, me, right? I know a lot of things out here. If I was a bad guy, I could do some very bad things to a lot of people. But I'm not the bad guy. But you never know the guy you're talking to if he's that bad guy. So be very careful. Of course, you already know this. Filipino time, it's real. If you're used to structure, schedules, and people being on time, buckle up because it's a real thing. 3 p.m. meeting may start at 4:30 p.m. But one thing I do notice from my wife's family, and that's what I love about them, they're always on time. So don't get caught up too much in the Filipino time, but go with the flow with what happens at that moment.
Finally,
Filipino time.
always worth the wait for good company.
Right? You can have a Filipina super late or a Filipina super early all the time. The whole family runs like that. That happens. You're in good money, but still understand that if she is that type of Filipina, that'll be a problem. But understand that if you want something done at a certain time, schedule it an hour in advance. Right? Say I want you guys here by 2 if you want them there by 3. That's when you're going to say, wow, things just move now. But don't get that family where you say, you want them there by 3, you say, come by 2. They're going to be there too. So tread lightly with that. But also, one thing you got to look out for is the foreign tax. Now, being foreign, it comes with a price tag. Some landlords, you got to be careful because not a lot of people charge the foreign tax. But you have to look out for some people doing that. And it won't really happen with, because I was going to say landlords. Yeah, they used to do that, but not so much anymore. They won't charge foreigners a higher price. What you have to look out for is small time things on the street. But small time to you can be big time to a person who's been living here. I'll explain. Right? Small time, for instance, say something that will cost the Filipino 300 pesos. May cost you 1,000. And they'll charge you 1,000. Why? Because 1,000 to you is $20. And if you're dealing with your money and you change it over and the exchange rate is pretty much 50, that's like 57 to 1, which is like 1,000 pesos is $20, right? A little more than that. So when you're working that way and you think, wait a minute, in the US, when I buy things like this, I get it for this price. That's how they get you. Learn right away. Have your Filipino with you or somebody else that understands the language that can conversate and speak with people, or study your environment. When you're around, you're in the market with somebody, go with your lady or maybe a friend and have them search things so you know what everything costs so you can avoid that. Because look out for that. Some people will hit you with that tax. So that's one of those things you gotta look out for, because they're gonna want to be honest with you. They want to be open, honest, and they want you to trust. That's a great thing. So that's one of those things where it's better and it's worse, right? Because most people don't want to do you wrong. I didn't make this video to bash the Philippines. I love it here, right? Most people, they want to see you happy. When they see you, like the Philippines, that kind of place, they see you smiling, they're smiling too because you're smiling. It's like, oh, like when they see foreigners, they come here all the time and say, oh, I love the Philippines. It's not what I expect. Before, of course, you look like me as an expat. I've been here so long. I see those videos and go, okay, they're just clickbaiting. They're clickbaiting because Filipinos love to see when people talk good about the Philippines. It's a little crazy. That goes hand in hand, though. See, the worst thing about that, I'm going to go into the good and the worst about everything, right? The worst thing about that is, yeah, they like to see people talking positive, but a lot of times, some Filipinos ignore negative when they do that. And that right there is what makes it worse, right? Because it's good, like, oh, because what it does is it puts you in a state, and I'm not trying to talk down on people, but it's the truth. Where I'm from America, and we deal in realism, especially where I'm from. I'm from New York. So I'm sure there's other Filipinos watching from New York going, yeah, he's right. He's right. A lot of Filipinos are from New York. In New York, they got Filipino Town in Queens. I've been there before, over in Flushing. They got Filipino Town. Also, they have like They have a lot of cultures over there, like Dominicans, Cubans. You can get Filipino food, that Filipino town with Jollibees. And over there, on the back of there, across the bridge is New Jersey, and then they got Jollibees, a mahogany sauce, all that stuff over there. What I'm saying though, it's real. And you'll notice that. And that's one thing you have to get used to. But also, let's talk about the food. Now, some of y'all are gonna love it. Others, not so much. Filipino food is comfort food. You know, rice is everything. Fried this, sweet that, salty sauce here, vinegar dip there. They love pork, hot dogs and spaghetti, and canned meat and breakfast meals. Now me, I rock with chicken adobo. Sinigang hits when it's raining, but I ain't touching balut or that pink hot dog, bro. I have tried balut before. I think Kay she's my video editor. I think she's gonna pull up a video. With me eating balut. Now, in the Philippines, you gotta try it. If you come out here and don't try it, I mean, if you don't eat like that, I will understand if you don't try it. I said it differently. But I got caught up in the hype and said, you know what, let me try the balut. I tried it. It was very crunchy because I got a bone. One time I ate it off the block where I was living. I crunched it. I got a whole arm with a feather. I was spitting out feathers. I will never do it again. Yeah, because you're not supposed to eat live. That's like eating live human, right? You eat a bone, you eat an animal. It was wild. So I'll never do it again. If you're a health freak or a picky eater like me, you're going to have to cook your own meals or find expat spots. But there's a lot of them. Especially if you're going to like Manila or Cebu, even Davao. Even when you're in those places, or even in the province as well. I noticed something about the provinces, they're increasing. Since I've been living here, the provinces are increasing. Like for instance, my wife's province, they had a Jollibee there for quite a while, but they're getting more and more things, right? And also when I was in a province, they had a grocery store. Everything was there. The province I was in, everything was there. But most provinces, everything is there. You know, you go to a grocery store, you can find everything you need to find, except if you're living in like one of those farm towns, nothing around. If you're experiencing that part of the Philippines, a lot of you guys are, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The relationships with families out here, like you got to understand, you're not just dating a girl, you're marrying into her family. Family ties, they run deep. Now, that don't mean you got to say yes to everything, but don't act surprised when it comes up. Now, you got to set boundaries early, be clear, and see how she responds. Now, a real one, they'll definitely understand. But a Filipino that's using you, she'll guilt trip you and use her family against you and cause division when it's really just her trying to get something out of you. So, be very careful. Here in the Philippines, you can be anybody here. Now, this pass right here, let me say it loud. Now, you can reinvent yourself in the Philippines. You can build from scratch, shed your old stress, and live with peace you never had before. Now, you're not boxed into your past, your old job, or your social status. But that's also why so many fakes come out here. You meet guys claiming to be former Navy SEALs, CEOs, crypto millionaires, only to find out they're broke, divorced, and ducking child support back home. So you gotta understand, be careful who you link up with when you come to the Philippines. Now, here it's very easy to get lazy, very easy to relax. And for a lot of you guys retiring, that falls right into your ballpark. For most of you guys, that falls into your ballpark. For me, I worked as soon as I got out here. I worked when I came out here. I worked online, right? You can do many different things, whether you're retiring, working online. You're going to realize, no matter what, it's going to benefit you doing it, whether you're coming to the Philippines, anywhere else in Southeast Asia, anywhere in the world. But the Philippines, these are the things to look out for. And this is what makes it better and also worse. But the worst is not that bad. You'll get used to it. I've been here for a long time. Come make it your home too. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Peace out. See you next video.
This is the way.
Thank you for watching this video. If you like my content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you like my content, you can go to my Buy Me a Coffee at buymeacoffee.com/JTBF. And there you can buy me a coffee or you can book a consultation with me. I have consultations for a very small fee. At the bottom of this video, you'll see thanks there. You can give it thanks and make sure your comment is highlighted, and you can give a small donation that way as well. Guys, in the description, you'll see other videos of my other content that's great as well. So you can be sure to watch my other content there. Thank you for watching. See you next video.